Welcome to Part 2 of a special edition of the BPASC Signal. I'm Navy Petty Officer Nathaniel Miller. During the 56 days of the Basic Public Affairs Specialist course here at the Defense Information School, the students get a chance to learn a little about the unique history of their various branches of service. Recently, our production staff visited the classroom of my colleague, Navy Petty Officer Pete Robertson. Prior to coming to DINFOS, Petty Officer Robertson was a crew member on board the 1797 frigate USS Constitution. In Part 1 of this special edition, we got to hear Petty Officer Robertson discuss with our Navy students what it means to him to be a United States sailor. During Part 2, he goes into the early history of the United States Navy and then shares some of the stories from the remarkable history of USS Constitution.
(1794). That was when the Navy adopted the Naval Armament Act of 1794. You see, at the end of the Revolutionary War, all those ships we used to help fight our war, converted merchant vessels, right? Possibly a couple pirate vessels here and there, stolen ships, right? Warships that were past their prime, kind of went away. Right? It was a ragtag, kind of gaggled together Navy that our Continental Navy was, and it served as sort of to begin that heritage. But then it went away. We don't really have a Navy. For the better part of 2 decades, we don't have a Navy at all. Great Britain has the largest Navy in the history of the world. And up until we declared our independence, guess who was protecting us? The British. Right? So we didn't have to worry all that much. If we got harassed too much, if too many merchant ships got intercepted, got pirated, Great Britain would roll in, shake a couple sabers, they'd be like, okay, yeah, there's your ships back, sorry. 1794, by that time we had a $5 million budget. That was our U.S. budget. And $1 million of that went to pay ransoms to get our sailors back, our merchant sailors back. And so Congress and the President got together and enabled the Naval Armament Act of 1794 and commissioned the first ships of the United States. Those 6 ships became the backbone of our Navy. They became our Navy. That was it. 6 ships, done. But it was enough. By the early 1800s, we had engaged the Barbary pirates off the coast of North Africa. We bombarded the coast of Tripoli and landed Marines. That was us. Marine and Navy, amphibious assault. We still do it. The British Navy had over 1,000 ships. We had 17 things that could float in our Navy. In June of 1812, USS Constitution was sailing around, as she does, pulling into a port. There's all these ships. All right, everything looks good. Get a little too close and realize those aren't American ships. Those are British ships. Those are Navy ships. It's time to go. So the Constitution turns around, puts up full sail. Right about the time all the watches on the ships on the pier are looking out. That's a Navy ship. That's a U.S. Navy ship right there. Let's go. All the sails go up, and they give chase. They get out into the open ocean. The ships break the harbor, and right about then, there's an important thing you need to sail a ship, any kind of sailing ship. The wind cut out, and I mean completely. So you have Constitution that's just finished turning around, it's just picked up momentum. You have the chasing ships that have put up sail and are already kind of cruising. So they're moving slow, but they're still kind of moving under their own inertia, whereas Constitution has sort of gone to a dead stop, so she's more or less a sitting duck. So someone thought to themselves, what a great idea it would be to catch the ship, which we normally do when we're pulling into a port. What does catch the ship mean? It means take the 2 smallest anchors, a 400-pound anchor and a 700-pound anchor, put them in the crew boats. That's what we're going to use to escape. Yeah, let's put them in the boats. And they hauled those anchors all the way to the end of the line and dropped them in the ocean. And then the rest of the sailors on the anchor caps and the giant winch that was turned with hand power. And they turned that bad boy and pulled the ship forward on her own anchors.
The British eventually did the same, and after nearly 60 hours of what was called the Great Chase, the breeze sprang up, blowing a fog in, and Constitution took right off.
The lead ship in that chase, the HMS Guerriere, catches up to USS Constitution about a month and a half later on August 19th, 1812.
After hours of maneuvering, Constitution and Guerriere finally tried a desperate maneuver. Both ships turned to pass the other, broadside to broadside.
1/16 the range at which a long gun should punch through our hull like a rock through a sheet of paper. 1/16 the range at which a carronade can smash your upper decks. And that's where Constitution and Guerriere crossed each other. And when they did, Guerriere wanted to be sure to get the first shot off. So you can already hear the captain of Guerriere shouting orders to his crew, prepare to fire. Captain Isaac Hall sitting there, I don't know, eating a sandwich. What is going to happen? We are going to die. He looks at the captain looks back at him and says, not yet. Let every man look well to his aim. That the word gets passed. Gun crew's like, yeah. Looking well to my aim, sir. Looking really well. I can see these people. He's holding up 2 fingers. His eyes are blue. His eyes are green. All right, he just split me off. He said something about my mom. I can hear them. That's 25 yards. Every single shot strikes Constitution's hull. Just fails to penetrate the ship. Fails to get through. Fails to do anything but put a dent in Constitution. So someone on one of the ships, we don't even know, because again, 25 yards. Someone shouts out, huzzah! Translation, OMG, her sides are made of iron. And the second shot is fired from Guerriere. The remaining cannons fired from Guerriere, and it happens again. And finally, Isaac Hull puts down his sandwich and said, now boys, pour into her. And they do. The Constitution opens fire with full broadside. HMS Guerriere meets her fate at the bottom of the ocean 20 minutes later. There are naval battles that have gone on for days.
Constitution then captures HMS Java, and British papers are having a field day with this. They're saying it's a national disgrace. So the British Navy makes it an order. Remember, 1,000 ships, right? 1,000 ships versus our 17 things that could float. The British make it an order: do not engage an American ship unless you enjoy a 2-to-1 advantage. Constitution goes on to capture the HMS Cyan and the HMS Levant at the same time.
2 ships captured, quick, fast, and in a hurry, a USS Constitution. 33 battles and engagements that ship was in. It never lost one. A ship never penetrated the hull of Constitution. She is our most storied ship. She is our most victorious ship. She is our oldest ship.